Love them or hate them, crows are masters of survival. They've faced habitat loss and even targeted eradication campaigns. Yet through it all, crows have managed to not only survive, they've actually grown their numbers and territory in North America and all around the world. So what's their secret? You might be tempted to think it's just because crows are really smart, but while that certainly is true, it still doesn't explain how crows have become so incredibly dominant. I mean, if it just comes down to intelligence, then why do so many other highly intelligent species seem to really struggle in today's rapidly changing environment? In this video, we're going to investigate the true reasons behind the mystery of how crows conquered the world. And what really sets these crafty problem solvers apart is actually three components of a complete survival strategy that gives crows an unfair advantage that no other species has. So settle in with your nature journal and pencil in hand and get ready for a crow observation masterclass. The thing about intelligence is that it's not just one thing. Even within the animal kingdom, there are many different types of intelligence. A great example is when we compare crows with their raven cousins, we discover that in terms of pure problem-solving abilities, ravens are often shown to be even more intelligent than crows. But somehow, despite being smaller, weaker, and less capable of solving problems, crows still end up dominating in territories where both species overlap. So how do they manage this? The key lies in the specific type of intelligence that makes crows so much more skilled at organizing groups in coordinated survival activities. Like, for example, these crows chasing away a barred owl in my parents' backyard. This may just look like a bunch of crows yelling and swooping at an owl, but what we're actually seeing here is a highly sophisticated act of social intelligence. I mean, think about it. What's better than being really smart? How about being really smart and having lots of friends and family who are also really smart? This socially driven mobbing tactic is an extremely common behavior in many of the world's most successful birds, but crows also take this to a whole other level because they're not just masters of defense. Crows will also execute coordinated attacks to steal food from eagles, hawks, and ospreys. This food stealing is a much less common skill because it requires highly intelligent coordination from multiple birds all working together towards a common goal. In fact, crows are really the only bird that has truly mastered the art of cross-species food heisting with a degree of sophistication normally reserved for wild canines like hyenas and jackals. But the key benefit here isn't just that crows get more food, it's also part of their much larger strategy to dominate as much nesting territory as they possibly can. This is really where crows are able to gain ground against their larger and smarter raven cousins. Because often when bird populations struggle, it's not actually for a lack of food or even predation, but rather they just don't have enough places to start new families. Crows actually share a lot of the same nesting locations as many hawks and ravens, but in any given landscape, there's only so many usable nest sites available. This creates an extremely competitive landscape where crows are uniquely positioned to use their strength in numbers to spark a feedback loop, where the more territory they gain, the more crows there are helping to control that territory. But even this is just the beginning, because at a certain point, you still do run out of new places to build nests. Typically when this happens, it creates a hard upper limit on population growth. But amazingly, crows have figured out how to break this physical limitation and grow their numbers way beyond what should be possible for the number of available nest sites. So how do crows do what few other birds have done? This brings us to the second key step of the crows' winning strategy, that crows have figured out how to piggyback on human success by doing something very strange. See, one of the unique things about crows is they don't all mate every year. This allows them to take advantage of a unique social structure where each crow has a role to play that changes as they grow and evolve through life. On the one hand, young female crows often stay with their parents a second year to help raise next year's brothers and sisters. On the other, a greater majority of crows end up banding together in large non-mating flocks. These flocks tend to concentrate around excess food sources like agricultural fields and rich habitats with water. But it's not just about easy access to food. These flocks are also a social learning environment where crows continue developing all the highly social skills that are required to succeed in larger crow society. By spending all this extra time developing life skills before starting families, crows not only become more competent parents, they also gain the ability to support massive non-breeding populations that pump up their numbers much higher than would normally be possible. The really interesting thing is crows have figured out how to amplify this effect even more by focusing their efforts in unnatural human ecosystems. For many wildlife species, the growth of cities is quickly followed by a sudden drop in population, but crows are so good at dealing with the novelty of human environments, it actually has the opposite effect, where as the number of humans increases, they're able to establish much larger colonies. Like the great crow roost reaching its peak during winter. This time of year, thousands of crows travel in from breeding territories to gather with friends and family and share in the warm security of the large city roost. These roost environments might seem like absolute chaos, but it's this very dynamic of spreading out and then coming back together that helps crows tap into a massive network of intelligence spanning across miles of terrain. In this way, the life of crows is a constant ebbing and flowing, from being born in the wild to living in the city as young adults and going back to low-density areas to have kids. And the more crows they get joining this dynamic society, the more effective that whole network becomes. But there's still something missing here, because if you start packing every crow from miles around into this one small space, how are you going to feed everyone? And how are you going to make sure that you're foraging in the most efficient way? Which brings us to part 3 of the crow success strategy, where crows have become so much more efficient at mass accumulating food. Most birds have very simple foraging strategies. They find a suitable habitat, they know their favorite spots, they know which foods are easy to find there. This works well when birds have small, clearly defined foraging areas, but if crows are really going to maximize food for the entire group, they need to use a more coordinated strategy that gathers from as many different habitats as possible while minimizing overlap with areas already covered by others. To make this possible, crows start each day by fanning out in all directions across the landscape like a massive spider web. But instead of just randomly scattering and hoping to find food, the amazing thing is that crows will actually adjust the size of their foraging groups to create a balanced distribution of food across their shared territory. This is why some days you might suddenly notice a lot more crow activity focused around a specific habitat, then on a different day in that same place there might be almost none. By constantly adapting the size and direction of their foraging groups, crows are able to minimize internal conflict and systematically exploit a much larger and richer landscape. This strategy is further leveraged by the fact that crows are some of the most highly omnivorous birds in the world, capable of eating pretty much anything with nutritional value. This includes everything from scavenged meat to entire loaves of discarded bread. Having that flexibility to eat basically anything is a really key factor in lowering the bar for crows to take more risks. As a result, crows are able to fly farther and expend more energy discovering high-value foods. And if all else fails, they can always just fly down to the ground and fill up on seeds and insects. But the real magic happens in those rare moments when all of that fanning and searching means crows start to discover truly significant concentrations of food. This could be like a bunch of sea life suddenly washing up on shore after a storm, or flying through the forest and spotting a recently dead deer hidden in the understory. These massive food discoveries are a huge opportunity for crows, but the problem is they're very unpredictable, they're constantly changing, and they don't last long, so in most cases you might only get 2 or 3 days before the food either spoils or gets used up by all the different animals being drawn to that larder. Yet this is exactly the type of situation where crows naturally dominate because they aren't just good at finding food, they also have the uncanny ability to bring that knowledge back. And all of that crazy chaos at the nightly roost plays a key role in how crows are able to gather reinforcements and take the greatest advantage of such short but intense foraging windows. So next time you look up and see a big group of crows fly by, remember it's not just a bunch of random crows. It's a unique group with a unified plan that can be revealed by asking good questions like how many are there, which direction are they going, how high in the sky are they? And the more we observe, the more we start putting the pieces together and seeing how crows have mastered these 3 pillars to drive outlandish success in this crazy evolving world. It's important to remember that even with all their advantages, a big part of why crow numbers have grown so much in recent history just comes down to human impact. And as caretakers of this planet with the capacity to be aware of our actions, crows remind us to reflect on how we can live in better harmony with our environment. It all starts with a deep knowledge and love for nature, so I'll link to another video here if you want to keep learning. I'll see you in the next video.